Hello, my name is Dr. Ruthie, and I am here, thanks to funwares.com, answering your questions about sex and relationships. I'm a professional sexuality educator. I blog over at exploringintimacy.com, and I get so excited when I get good questions from y'all that you can send me at AskDrRuthie, that's spelled with an I-E at the end, AskDrRuthie, R-U-T-H-I-E, at funwares.com, so thanks to Funwares for making this possible. I just did a video on tips for flirting, defining flirting, and what kind of attitude and personality you want to bring to flirting. Now I'm going to talk to you about the body language you can use to help communicate those things. So if you haven't watched Tips for Flirting Part 1, make sure you watch that before you watch Part 2 here. Alright, so we talked about the definition of flirting, and that it's the desire, or the act of communicating attraction and interest in hopes of a mutual connection. So we talked about being confident and curious and playful and resilient and flirting for the joy of flirting and making sure that they know that you're flirting and not just being a good person. And now how do we do those things with our body language as well? Because of course the way we communicate with our mouth is not the same as the way we communicate with our body, and if the two of them don't match up with each other, then we send really weird mixed messages and things won't work. Alright, so when we're flirting, and you're going in for the approach, the first thing I want you to pay attention to is your facial expression. Go ahead and practice in the mirror or tape yourself flirting with the camera, because seeing your facial expressions really makes a big difference, and you'll learn stuff about yourself and how other people are seeing you when you're flirting with them. So you want to smile, because remember, we are letting them know that we're happy to be talking with them, we're excited by being near them. We're interested in them. We want to see how interested we can be. We're attracted to them, so we're enjoying being in their presence, and we're happy and we're confident. So it's a smile. Not a big, fake, toothy, creepy smile, but just a smile that lets them know that you're happy to be there. And if you're a little shy and bashful, then that kind of smile too, and that's okay. We want to make a lot of eye contact with this person. We're not staring them down, but we're making that happy eye contact that lets them know that we're interested. So if you find yourself looking down and away a whole lot, being bashful can be enticing, but it should lead back to that direct eye contact. So if you find yourself looking down and then looking up, the looking down is still leading towards the direct eye contact. That lets people know that you're interested. Because that kind of sustained direct eye contact is a little bit taboo culturally, at least in the United States, and I know certainly very taboo in other places. Here in the US, then, making that direct eye contact really sends an important message of confidence and interest. You want to look bright-eyed, and you want to look eager and interested, and let your face reflect that you're smitten. You don't need to pretend to be too cool for this situation. You're flirting because you're fun, and this is a fun experience, and you want to be there. So don't worry if your face looks a little bit sappy or you look a little bit too interested in them. That's part of flirting. And if it's not mutual, then you find out and you flirt with somebody else. Not a big deal. You want to pay attention to your body posture, and you want your body posture to communicate a sense of openness, a sense of confidence, a sense of comfort, and a sense that you have nothing to hide. So again, sit in front of a mirror or stand in front of a mirror or tape yourself in a position that you'd be when you're flirting. If you're at the bar, you might be standing up next to someone on a bar stool. If it's over and you've scored a dinner and you want to flirt, then you might be sitting down. If you're already partners and you want to flirt better with your sweetie, you might be laying down in bed at the point that you're flirting. So get into whatever body position you're likely to be in when you're flirting, and then pay attention to what you're doing. If your arms are crossed and your legs are crossed and you're showing the side of your leg, of the outside of your leg to the other person, so it's very like a wall and a defense. If you find yourself leaning away while you're flirting because you're nervous, all of these things are not what you want to do. They show that you're anxious, that you're guarded, that you're not confident, and that you may have things to hide, or that you may be perceived as having things to hide. So you want to sit with, sit or stand with your feet at about the width of your shoulders. If you are crossing your legs, you want to cross your legs with your knees pointed towards the other person a little bit more. Not defensively so, but you don't want to put that flat of your leg against them like a wall, like you're turning away with your lower half. You might want to be a little closer to the edge of your chair, or standing a little bit closer to that person. And what you can also do is be mimicking a little bit of their body language, not in a weird, creepy impersonation way, but if you see them stretch out and take up a little more space, which means that they're comfortable and relaxing, then you can emulate that as well in a nice little subtle way. You've laid your arm down on the bar next to your drink. I'm going to put my arm on the bar next to the drink. you know, you're sitting forward because you're interested, I'm going to sit forward. So you want to emulate, because when you do the opposite, it gets really creepy. If they lean back away from you because it's too much and you lean forward in towards them, then we have a mismatch, and that doesn't come across well. If they lean back, then you want to respectfully just lean back just an inch or two to show that you're responsive to their interests and their comfort level, even conscious level. The next thing I want to mention when we're talking about body placement is not just your posture, but literally the placement of where you're putting your arms and legs and things. So I mentioned the example, if the other person lays their arm on the bar next to their drink, you lay your arm on the bar next to your drink. And this is a way of increasing proximity in a mutual manner. So again, that mutuality of body language. You want to be showing your interest, and as they reflect your interest, you're reflecting more interest, and hopefully they reflect even more interest, so you reflect even more interest. What if they're not reflecting interest? You can step back, tone it down a little bit, and try again, or you can just maybe realize that they're trying to send you the message that now is really not the time, or they are not really the person for you, and those things are fine. We bounce back, and they don't know you. It's okay. Just the more you practice, the more you get shot down, the easier it is to bounce back and try again. So what we want to do is things that make us a little bit closer. You can move your drink a little bit closer to theirs and leave your hand at the base of your drink so that when they reach for theirs, your hands are kind of close to each other. You don't have to be creepy and try and touch hands, unless that's the next step. That seems logical. But you want to move a little closer. You want to stand in such a way and lean in so that you can hear them to the point where it's comfortable, but where you are within their normal distance that they're comfortable with. So you don't want to invade their personal space. You want them to demonstrate with their body language and vocal language that you're welcome into their personal space. And you can scoot in a little bit at a time, a little bit more as they get more and more comfortable with you. So this is often something I see as a problem with folks who are always the best friend and never have other people realize that they're flirting. They keep a very, very respectful body language and body posture and body proximity. You want to stay respectful, but you can get a little bit closer to see how it's received. And pay attention. If they don't receive it well, then scoot back out again. That's a way of being respectful too. But if you never try getting a little bit closer body-wise, you won't see how they react, and they won't understand that you're interested in being closer in lots of different ways. So what we want to do with our facial expression, our body posture, and our placement and proximity is we want to convey that we're fun and not creepy. So we're matching their level of interest and trying a baby step forward to see how it's received. We're not just rushing in, and we're matching their body movement a little. If they lean back, we lean back. If they lean forward, we lean forward, okay? You want to be lighthearted and not desperate. That means not ignoring their responses or pushing them to act like they're interested because they don't know what else to say. And so again, we're doing this for the joy of flirting, and if it doesn't work, that's okay. You know, this is not going to make or break my night. You know, I hope it does. That's okay if it's not. Yeah, your loss, right? We also want to convey that we're open to seeing what happens and we're not tied to a goal. Our only goal is to convey our interest in attraction and see if it's mutual. We can, you know, work on developing other goals together once we've established that mutuality. But we're not approaching them with the goal of getting laid. We're approaching them with the goal of communicating our interest in attraction. And then just seeing what kind of goal we can come up with together. If we get laid, that's great. If we have a really fun evening together and that doesn't happen, that's great. Maybe I don't even want to get laid. Maybe I just want to flirt and get an ego boost from somebody flirting back with me. That's fine too. So hopefully this will help you to guide your body language and expressions in such a way that it matches all those positive and joyful aspects of flirting that we talked about before. I'm Dr. Ruthie. I hope that this helps you to take the step away from being just friends to being more than friends, and I will see you in the next video.